Thank you. We're here because we could never be broken, and we have never forgotten. Thank you for gathering here today, and thank you to the Calgary's Ukrainian community for welcoming us with such strength, dignity, and faith year after year. It was almost 10 years ago that I represented the city as deputy mayor. At this event, I remember walking in and seeing former Alderman Rick McIver, who's with us here today. 10 years ago is the 20th year that he had participated in this event, and I just wanted to recognize and thank you as well, Speaker, for your continued support for the community. I see I'm joined by Councillor Dan McLean and Councillor Andre Chabot. Thank you for your consistent service and congratulations for your re-election to our brand new team of city councillors. We are here for a solemn purpose, to remember the Holodomor, to honor the lives who were lost and the millions who suffered, and to speak truth about the genocide that was engineered to erase a people. Councillor Chabot remarked to me on the way in here, the reflection that the Holodomor is not very well known for one reason or another, and it needs to be. And the reason that we're in this room to remember it is that it has to be, not in Calgary, not just in Calgary, but from coast to coast of our great country and elsewhere in the world. It wasn't a natural disaster. It wasn't a famine caused by drought or chance. It was deliberate. It was engineered. It was an act of terror carried out against innocent families. For generations, survivors were told to stay silent. Their stories were denied, their grief was hidden, and their truth was forbidden. And today in this room and elsewhere in the world, we refuse to stay silent. We refuse to let their memory fade, and we refuse to let the world forget what happens when injustice meets indifference. And for me, this day is not only solemn, it is deeply personal. Because I stand before you not just as Calgary's new mayor, but if I'm correct, I stand before you as Calgary's first Ukrainian mayor. My mother's family, the processions, the Tishas, they came to Canada as Ukrainian homesteaders. They settled in Saskatchewan with nothing. They worked the lands with their bare hands. They built community with their neighbors. And they carried memories, some they learned of as a child. Some were spoken, but many were unspoken, of their homeland that was scarred by loss. And it was their journey that paved the way for mine and many other Ukrainian Canadians in this room today. And it was their sacrifice that I'm able to serve the city today. So when I or we speak about the Holodomor, I speak not only as mayor on behalf of my council colleagues, but as a descendant of people who could never be broken, people who have never forgotten, and people who have survived because they found refuge in this country. And that legacy is not lost on me. It's something that I carry deeply in my heart with pride and with responsibility, because the lessons of the Holodomor echo painfully today in our time. So as we honor the victims of 1932 to 33, we watch in horror as new suffering unfolds. Once again, us Ukrainians are fighting for our identity, our sovereignty, and our very survival. Once again, we see the world as being tested. Will we see the truth? Will we stand up for it? And will we act? Those questions are ones that Calgarians have answered with compassion. We've welcomed families fleeing violence. We've opened our homes, our workplaces, and our hearts, and the City Hall atrium, as you did, Councillor Chabot, standing with the previous mayor, welcoming the community. We've shown that when people are in need, Calgary does not hesitate. Calgarians do not hesitate. But that remembrance alone is not enough, because the Holodomor teaches us that silence enables cruelty. The truth must be defended and remembered, and that every generation has a duty to protect human dignity, actively and courageously. So today in this room, we honor the lives that were stolen from us. We remember the family members who were stolen from us. We light candles for the ones who were never, ever allowed to speak. Remember the children the families, the grandparents, the uncles, the communities that were erased. And we reaffirm here in this great city a commitment that has carried Ukrainians through even the darkest nights. A commitment to freedom, a commitment to hope, a commitment to a future where no community like ours is ever again targeted for who we are. So to Calgarians, to our Ukrainian community, to my neighbors, my friends, my family, I want you to know this on behalf of my council colleagues, every single one of the 16,000 City Hall employees who work with us every single day, every one of the nearly 2 million Calgarians who live in the city today, that your grief is my grief. It is our grief. And it's that resilience that strengthens our whole city. And our culture, our faith, our courage are woven into the very fabric of Calgary itself and in the mayor's chair. So may the memory of Holodomor's victims be eternal. May their stories continue to guide us. And may we work together as Ukrainians and non-Ukrainians alike to ensure that never again, never again, never again is not a slogan, but a promise that we uphold. Veshnaya Pamyat, eternal memory. Thank you.